Hello friends, welcome back. I'm Commissar Marek, and today we are going to be making another video about Der Billions 800% campaign, walkthrough or step-by-step, however you want to call it. It's gonna be a longer video because today I will cover more than one mission. We are gonna be doing the Valley of Death and its associated swarm. Then we'll be going to the Villa of Terror and its associated swarm mission, and also clear the prison hero mission. So that's what we'll be playing today in this video, and it's gonna be a bit longer, as I said. With the swarm missions, there's nothing to really talk about. Make soldiers and maybe some snipers. If there are any chubbies, you can have a couple of snipers on high priority targets. Otherwise, Soldier Ball with this amount of empire points should get you through, and so it will. With the Valley of Death, we need to talk a little bit about the crux of that mission in the command center. Alright, let us get right to it. So, Valley of Death, command center. Let's take a look at the map. We are in a corner, meaning that defense is significantly easier than, for example, it was on lowlands. I generally consider this map to be easier than most of the other ones like Narrow Pass, but it can still have some pitfalls. I had some restarts when I played this because I want to figure out the best way that I could present so that you can reliably clear without having too many difficulties, and I think I succeeded, but it did cost me a couple of restarts for sure. So anyway, we start in a corner, and you can see that in this map the quirk is fertile land. There isn't much of it and there is no water. Also relatively limited trees. So food production is very important. What you might have to do late game, unless you want to expand to that third oasis, is that you might have to make rangers instead, because they don't cost any food to recruit, unlike snipers and soldiers. Fortunately, this map does not have any big swarms coming, but there are random runner attacks from all the edges, as we are used to at this point. So we don't need to necessarily cover everything with a shocking tower, but I would recommend it. And how I like to outline this with the walls later is, I'm just gonna show you right now because it's crucial to understand, is that you only really need the first two grass circles for farming, and for the goals that are on this mission you don't have to go to the third one. You can collect the food drops and such around the map and from that third Doom village because you need to clear it. But you don't need to expand to that if you don't want to, and I didn't want to, so I stuck with this rough layout and fit all the population within it. But you can of course expand further. There are some decent choke points if you clear more, but there are a lot of executives on this map, so let's take a look at the danger map. So early on there's a lot of shamblers, but you can even get iron and stone easily early on. However, the problem here is that you start and you don't want to build on that. You don't want to build on that grass because it's your food. Well, you can still build on some of it because you only really can fit one farm efficiently there next to the command center. So if you count the tiles, you will see that when I play. I count the tiles so that we have 2 spots for the farmland, then 2 spots for the farmhouse, and 2 spots for the farmland on the other side. So 6 width is basically what the farm takes up as a footprint. So it's like a 6x6. And I count those tiles from the command center, place it, and then we build houses on the grassland on the edge there, because it doesn't actually hurt anything. And we want to have a rough first very good block covered around here. But before we can do that, we need to clear those shamblers, as I mentioned before, around the iron. But be very careful, there are a lot of executives and they will easily over aggro, especially from that village of Doom. So you really don't want to push much further on the iron itself until you build up enough soldiers to do so. But we will still want to kind of get shocking towers for this, because there are just so many. In fact, once you start to fight with soldiers, there will be a ridiculous amount of enemies that are gonna rush into the iron area, and since that's where your houses are, relatively nearby, it is very dangerous, and it's very hard to know how many soldiers you need because of how many damn infected there are on the whole map. So I came up with a way, which is to research shocking tower. You're not really under any pressure from like the attacks, as I said before, so you can even wait. Because if you build one shocking tower, it's like on Narrow Pass, right? It will create a lot of noise when it fires, and then it's gonna draw way more than you can deal with. So we want to kind of save up so we can place at least 2, preferably 3 at once, so that we are safe and we don't really overextend.
Right, makes sense.
And so that's gonna be my approach. There are a lot of drops in the desert itself, as well as in the villages of Doom when you clear them. I'm not gonna outline them all because it's pointless, but look out for crates of food. It's really good to get that, because this map does have limited food. And as I said, if you want to have a budget army later, you absolutely can have a lot of rangers. It's just that I prefer a smaller army of soldiers and snipers that I can use to reliably clear all the chubbies, and there are a lot of executives. If you are struggling on the end to clear the rest of the infected from the map, you can use the chase command. It is relatively straightforward. They just go on the map and see the closest enemy and they try to clear it completely, so that can be helpful. There are also the random attacks that constantly spawn, so that might need to be cleared before you win. But overall, not a very difficult mission. It's quite relaxing, just it has that quirk with the farmland. Now at Valley of Death, cleared out, we have some research, but we want even more because now we have the prison hero mission unlocked, so that is going to be where we go next. And again, I'm gonna just make sort of a footage showcase of how I cleared it, but it's just a it's a hero mission on 800%. There are too many infected to really be enjoyable. It is way too boring to show in this video completely, but I'll try to show some crucial moments at least. There are some rescuable units in this one, so you can rescue 2 Lucifers, which are flamethrower units. They are useful, so they help you clear, but this mission is not really interesting in any way. There are not that many special infected. It's just you have to take it slow, clear it all, collect all the research. It's very good. The research is vital for a Slayer. After the mission is done, we'll be picking up another level up for Callus, and I'm gonna be giving him extra vision and attack range, because it leads to another attack upgrade, which is gonna be instrumental in dealing with the late game hero missions where there are gonna be many special infected. And after that, we'll be assigning our research. Now, there are many great upgrades to pick from. However, I believe that we need to pick up the train upgrades now. It is vital that we get extra iron and oil and gold from each train. It is gonna supercharge our economy. Yes, we don't need oil at the moment, but we can always sell it once our market goes up, giving us an extra boost in money each time we achieve the milestone, get the market up. And that can be valuable as well. Not only that, but it also unlocks the artillery shipments later, which is an ability to get from each train 1 free Wasp turret, which can be used to easily defend an area. It's very good. And something else with the general strategy with research is that you need to remember, if you pick up an upgrade that like, oh, it makes me stronger late game, good. But when are you gonna die the most? Remember Narrow Pass, remember Lowlands. When you die is early game. If your early game goes well and your clear speed is good and you get extra resources, then you can usually achieve mid and late game rather quickly and outpace the map. If we picked up research that only helps us later, it's gonna mean that our early game is gonna suffer, and that's actually really bad. So that's why upgrades that might not seem like they are super great are actually quite good, because they help when it matters the most. What difference does it make late game if you have 100 soldiers or 120 soldiers? Not that much, honestly, because at that point you can usually deal with whatever the game can throw at you. But early game, these things matter a lot. Now we deal with yet another swarm of infected, but it shouldn't be a problem. There are some chubbies, so add some snipers to your soldier mix and just stand there and kill them all. Once you start to see some veterancy coming up on your soldiers, you know that the game will not be able to overcome your troops. So usually I just let it run and do something else for a moment, because some of these swarms can take very long time to clear, because they have thousands upon thousands of infected. tens of thousands even, and then they only spawn at a set rate, so you have to sit there for like 45 minutes to just clear it passively. So when I see veterancy achieved, I will no longer show you this. Now let's talk about the Villa of Terror in the command center. This mission is not extremely easy, however, it is a little bit poorly balanced, because a late game I was waiting a whole duration of a swarm, which was like 12 days, doing absolutely nothing, then recruiting more unnecessary troops for the final swarm to arrive, and then the final swarm itself doesn't even have many special infected or anything. The main difficulty of this map comes from the harpy enemies that are now intermingled with other infected, and there are also a couple of spitters, which is a new kind of infected, which we haven't encountered in other maps so far, and these have a ranged attack and are annoying in large numbers. In small numbers they are not really a factor, not really very dangerous, so you don't need to worry about them. You might not even notice that they are there for the most part. However, the harpy enemies, extremely dangerous. If there is enough noise caused by a shocking tower or some soldiers, then harpies will come. Sometimes couple harpies or one harpy can even be drawn to your rangers, which results in quick death of your ranger because they kill them in 2 shots. And they are very, very swift, very powerful, but you can deal with it, and we will. However, most of those harpy enemies are in the center, so the only thing you kind of need to watch out for is when you build your shocking tower defense on the left and right choke point, whenever the attack, the first swarm comes from, you will want to make sure that you have some extra soldiers behind the shocking tower to deal with any harpies, because they mass up at your walls and they can climb over your walls. If you double up your walls, they struggle a bit more with climbing them, and so that can help, but the shocking tower itself is not very good at dealing with mass harpies. So always put up some troops behind it before the infected are drawn and dispatched by the shocking tower. After it calms down, you can then usually just keep a couple of rangers at the shocking tower and focus on the other side. For me, the left was where I held them back with a shocking tower defense, and then on the right is where I kept pushing with my soldiers, and I keep expanding, secure choke points, and ultimately we want to conquer the massive village of Doom in the middle, which will give us a lot of resources, supercharging our economy, and then we push all the way up. We want to clear the whole map, claim the whole map pretty much, because it's the best choke point you can have. And so that's how I went about it. We have no advanced structures or anything, no advanced farms or quarries, but there are still plentiful resources for this, and I did exceed the population limit. And as I said, the last swarm should not really pose a threat. I'm gonna do an outro right here, and next time we are gonna go for the Steel Fortress hero mission, after which we'll probably go to the Resistance. So I hope that you are looking forward to that. Let me know what you thought, and I hope that you managed to beat the missions with my help, or it gave you some insights into how I play them. So anyways, thank you for watching and see you around. Bye.